Hello guys, Jack here from Peach Guitars. Thanks for joining us on another video today. We're continuing our series of a closer look at certain guitar models from respected manufacturers, and we're continuing with Suhr guitars today, looking specifically at the Alt T Pro. So this is one of the staples of the modern Suhr lineup, and for a very good reason. This is basically one of the most versatile guitars on the market, in my opinion. So I just wanted to take a bit of time today to talk you through what specs make it up and kind of what it's appropriate for. And the short answer is pretty much everything. As you'll have heard in the intro of that video there, I went from a really clean, jangly tone to a very heavy, distorted tone, all courtesy of the Mesa Boogie Triple Crown 50 amplifier, by the way. And then back again to clean, and this guitar just absolutely handles it all. And I would say if you're looking for an option for just a do-it-all guitar, something that you could take to do a variety of different gigs, or maybe if you're a function player or you play in the studio a lot, this is definitely a contender for that number one spot. It certainly is for me. When I like to play, this is definitely a go-to guitar for me. So I'll just talk you through some of the specs as to what makes it up to being such a versatile guitar. So obviously it's clear where the inspiration for this kind of instrument came from. The thin line body is a great little touch to an addition to their classic T range, which has been a staple in their lineup for a number of years. And the Alt T came about, I think, as a limited edition guitar a number of years ago, and it was so popular that they decided to standardize it, basically. So we're at a point now in 2019 where you've got a whole wealth of options in this particular family. So in the Alt T alone, you've got two different bodywood options and two different fingerboard materials as well. So they always couple an alder wood body with the rosewood fingerboard and maple neck, and the maple fingerboard versions of these guitars have swamp ash bodies. So that's obviously harking back to those classic 50s and 60s versions of the classic T designs, not mentioning any names, of course. But the hollow body of this guitar, the chambering, really brings it to life, and it also obviously veers into kind of semi-hollow body Gibson territory a little bit as well. You can kind of think of this almost as a bit of a 335 light for those people that just find that kind of guitar a little bit too big or cumbersome to play. This really splits the difference between the obviously the classic T as well as like a 335 style guitar. I think it sits firmly in the middle. And being that those are two of the most versatile guitar designs in history, this is very much a contender for that number one spot, as I mentioned. So that's the construction of the guitar. Really simple. What's nice though is there is some crossover, so certain finishes only apply to certain wood combinations. So again, harking back to like the 50s and 60s different delineations, the 50s guitars would have been like natural finishes, sunbursts, stuff like that. So you see with the Alt T Pro, the maple neck versions come with their own exclusive colours, like the really nice natural and trans brown finishes. With the rosewood guitars, they get these cool 60s kind of colours. So in this case, you've got like Sonic Blue, there's a Seafoam Green, that kind of thing. But there is some crossover too, so the black and three-tone sunburst finishes are available with both the rosewood and alder, as well as the maple and swamp ash bodies. So if you want to basically just pick a finish you like, and you want the option to have either fingerboard material and either bodywood, you've got that in the form of those two finishes. Okay, so that's kind of the general construction of the body of the guitar. Same deal as always with Suhr's necks. They're incredibly comfortable. This is basically a 60s even C medium profile on this guitar, with kind of medium stainless steel frets. So it's not too classic, not too modern, it sits right in the middle, really comfortable. It's not too hefty either, which is nice. I remarked in some of our other Suhr in-depth videos about just how comfortable these are to play for prolonged periods of time. And the 9 to 12 inch compound radius fingerboard on this guitar really helps with that too, so that when you're playing chords down low, it's nice and round and comfortable, and then when you get up higher, it flattens out a bit for leads. You've got Suhr's proprietary locking tuners on this guitar, as always, so obviously that's great for tuning stability and for very quick string changes too, so no problems there whatsoever. The electronics on this guitar is part of what makes this such a versatile instrument. So obviously we've got two humbuckers, which are Suhr SSV pickups in this case. We've got the classic T kind of chopped off bridge there, again, which is really comfortable, keeps out the way for some kind of classic T or telly players that find that bridge plate sometimes gets in the way. You don't have that worry here. Brass saddles on the guitar as well, then your standard volume and tone controls. But what's nice is you have the added versatility and flexibility of a 5-way blade switch. So just to talk you through really quickly what those configurations are. Position 1 is your bridge humbucker. Position 2 gives you both humbuckers in split mode in parallel. Position 3 in the middle is both humbuckers together. Position 4 is, interestingly, the neck humbucker split. And lastly, position 5 is the neck humbucker by itself. So those are 5 incredibly versatile options. And basically, those are, in my experience anyway, when you're going for those kind of in-between and split coil sounds, those are probably the most used, most requested particular variants of those split coil different options you have. And it's great to also be able to access both humbuckers by themselves. Okay, so something else that's really nice about these SSV pickups in particular, they're one of the lowest output, most classic voiced pickups that Suhr makes, and it really marries well with this particular guitar, of course. What's great is that even on the humbucking modes, like on the bridge humbucker, as I was at the start of this video on the clean section, it's still really clean and open sounding. You can approximate some of those classic T single coil tones, but then when you go to a higher gain sound, you had the added heft of a humbucking tone there too. So it really splits the difference in kind of bit of a Jekyll and Hyde kind of fashion. Really great pickup in this guitar. So with that said, let me run you through the 5 different pickup configurations that we've got. I'm going to stick with the clean channel for now, and then later on I'll go to some distorted tones too. So let's start with the neck humbucker first of all. So what's nice about this classic form of guitar, in the form of like a thin line T-style guitar, is just how well it straddles the line between obviously those classic 50s and 60s telly-style tones and veering into something a little bit more contemporary, and this guitar absolutely nails that. As you'll have heard there as I was cycling through the different pickups, you can go kind of everywhere from warm jazzy tones on the neck humbucker, and then on those particular split sounds, as well as the bridge humbucker by itself actually, you can really approximate some of those classic single coil tones, again in its own way because it's very much its own instrument. But the bridge humbucker is something that always surprises me how flexible it is, because when you really dig into it, it gives you that classic telly spanky kind of tone, and then when you just lay off a little bit, roll down the tone, it can mellow out a bit and just act as a great vintage voiced humbucker. So let's run through those tones again on the crunch channel of the amplifier, so channel 2 of the Boogie amp, a little bit kind of mid-gain tone, and this is where this guitar really shines because of how dynamic it can be. So again, when I lay into it and play hard, it's going to be overdriven, and then if I back off and play those single coil different modes on the guitar, you'll hear it cleans up really well. So let's just start exploring that. I'm going to start on the bridge pickup this time and work backwards. Okay, so I was waffling on a little bit with the playing there, but just to prove the point that just with a simple gain sound like that, where it's kind of in the middle, you know, not too overdriven, not too clean, this guitar really, really shines, and you can get all the different textures and tones you want just by varying the controls on the guitar. So lastly, let's go for a high gain sound, just so you can hear how it responds in that kind of application. The great thing about having the chambering on this guitar is it's not like it's a fully hollow instrument, so it won't really whistle and feed back at you at high volumes or high gain levels or anything like that, but it adds this nice airiness to the tone. So if I go to the channel 3 on the amp now, you'll hear that in action. Okay, so once again, a bit more of an extreme example there with a high gain tone, but just shows how versatile this guitar can be. It will never be mistaken for like a heavy mahogany wood body, solid body guitar, but it's really got its own character, and I think it's just one of the coolest voices that you can find in an electric guitar. And something I will just say as well is position 4 on this instrument, which is the neck pickup split, is one of the best coil splits I think you'll come across. As you'll have heard there, it really responds like a single coil in the neck would do. Again, perhaps you wouldn't convince anyone it's like a Strat or anything like that, though it can get pretty close, and I think it's just great to have such a unique guitar in its own right, but also something that offers you all these different options too. It's very much a Swiss Army knife kind of instrument, and it definitely proves itself in any recording situation or any live application you could possibly want to throw at it. Okay, so that about wraps it up for this Alt T Pro. As you've probably guessed by now, I'm really in love with this guitar. I think it's such a fantastic instrument, and it's great to see that it's been standardized, and now is the best time to get one because you've got more options than ever before in terms of the finishes, different wood combinations and stuff like that. As you'll have heard in this video, it can cover pretty much any style you want to throw at it, so I'm sure the best thing you can do is come down and try one for yourself, and you'll probably agree that if you're looking for a chambered, semi-hollow style instrument, this is very much a top contender for that role. Alright guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video and this closer look at the Alt T Pro. If you have, as always, please leave us a like and comment down below with your thoughts. We're going to be continuing this series where we're focusing in depth on Suhr guitars and guitars from other brands. So if there's anything else you'd like to see, leave us a comment down below and let us know what it is. Remember to hit that subscribe button too if you haven't done so already, and tap the bell icon that's next to it, and that way you'll be notified of all our video uploads that we make in the future. So all that's left to say, guys, if you want to find out any more about Suhr's products, you can do so by going to peachguitars.com. Click the link down in the description box below, and that way you'll be able to see the full inventory of Suhr that we have in stock at the moment. You'll also be able to see current pricing information for each guitar, see some nice high-resolution images of every guitar, and also hear them in action by way of the video listings that we've shot for every single guitar that we've had in. So that's it. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.